Alright, Shalom Hebrews. This is a message from the Israelite Brotherhood. Alright, Hebrews. Who teaching the earth to oppose Yah will and laws on earth? Ain't none other than the serpent. Straight up, ain't none other than the serpent. Him and his descendants and followers. And we Israelites have a job to do. And our job from the beginning was to establish righteousness on earth, and that so the earth can live and survive. I believe it's a lot of desolate planets, man, that probably at one time, because of Almighty Yah set a adversary, man, on the earth, and that, man, if he get loose and get power, man, I kind of conceive, man, that's how the earth get destroyed, the earth-like planets and stuff, and that, man, that the serpent that Almighty Yah set on earth, that if you don't follow his will, Almighty Yah's will, then you're going to be following that serpent will, and then that's what destruction at. Destruction, man. I'm talking about the man destroy the whole planet. The whole planet is finna be destroyed because the serpent will is being done, and the serpent is in opposition to Almighty Yah's will. If Almighty Yah say women shouldn't sleep with women and men shouldn't sleep with men, then the serpent gonna make that righteous and make that cool and okay. The serpent gonna make that cool and okay. And if Almighty Yah say don't do this, and then you see how it's a will in this earth to do just the opposite. That if Almighty Yah say don't do this, that it's an evil will lurking that say, yeah, it's okay to do this. You know what I'm saying? That's like the media. Man, the media is controlled by the folks that go against Almighty Yah's will. Yes. The media, especially the TV, man, the TV stations and owners, man, they gonna be folks that is against Almighty Yah's will, and they gonna be working for the serpent. Man, I'm here to tell you, and the serpent goal, man, is to destroy the earth and do just the opposite, man, of what Almighty Yah want. Now, in how they desecrated the rainbow colors that symbolize Almighty Yah's covenant with the earth, and that how that they then took the rainbow and then they got a black and brown stripe because they done conquered the the people, especially the Israelites, man, they got the Israelites messed up real bad, thinking that the serpent laws and way of being is okay and justified. They got this, well, democracy, you do what you want to and it's okay. You can be as wicked and evil as you want to in democracy, so-called country, and it's okay. But that's destroying the earth. And you can see and trace the will and the goals of the nations that practice democracy gonna come from a serpent rooted culture. And it just, he shed his skin, and you know what I'm saying, he keep shedding skin, the snake keep shedding skin, you know what I'm saying, and get renewed all the time. And then that's what then happened over the years, and it's destroying the earth. But Almighty Yah set an antidote to fix all that. It's to follow Almighty Yah's will, and he set that will with a certain people. And he understood that these peoples would mess up. His creation coming from Adam, and then directly from Prophet Abraham's seed through Isaac, Jacob, and the 12 tribes, and how we were supposed to be the guardians of the way of Yah on earth, which would preserve the earth, because we was also supposed to destroy the serpent culture that destroys the earth. And that's what the Tanakh is basically about. How that if you ain't following Almighty Yah's will, and it's based upon the nations, all the whole earth is what the Tanakh was based upon. And then how that if you didn't follow Almighty Yah's will, then you're gonna be following the serpent's will, and then that's what destroys the earth. That's what destroys the earth, and we know that Almighty Yah give us a dominion, dominion over the earth. You know what I'm saying? And that how the serpent is trying to change that, and then give dominion and power to the animals. Especially, you know what I'm saying? The serpent is finna create like he had once upon a time before the earth was destroyed, and how the serpent is finna create a hybrid, a half human and half animal coming up soon. They got them already, and they got people's breeding for them, trying to get the body in a position to produce hybrids. Man. I got plenty of videos explaining about the hybrids and how that's what the serpent want. You know what I'm saying? And all this is in opposition to Yah will and laws. But I want to show this. Look, and y'all said that this is Genesis 1:26, and y'all said, "Let us make man in our image." So if y'all gonna make man in His image, and that Almighty Yah ain't no half dog, half Herman, and half half a bull, half Herman and stuff, and that how Almighty Yah created the perfect creation, but how did that man it's a wheel, man. The serpent wheel is lurking and trying to change that and want to create his own creation. Man, let me see if I could pull a image or two up, man, of them, wanting half humans and half animals. And that's what our enemy is trying to do. Our enemy is gonna always be the serpent. The serpent ain't gonna never be cool with us. The serpent ain't gonna never be cool with the Israelites, and because we opposes his goal. You know what I'm saying? And the serpent goal is to be just the opposite man of Yah. And that's the serpent goal, and then that's what they trying to do. They create some half human, half animals. It's the serpent goal. But look here, if Almighty Yah give us dominion over the earth, and then Almighty Yah created us to look, in His form of fashion, and then something else come try to change that, then that is in opposition to Almighty Yah laws and will. All right. And Yah said, "Let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth." Look, and Yah said, "Let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowls of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth." So Almighty Yah made a creation that looked like Him, them, and that it was supposed to rule the whole earth. You know what I'm saying? And have dominion over the earth. But we see that man, there's something trying to change that. It didn't change that already, where it want to give another form of creation dominion over the earth. Look. So Yah created man in His
own image, and in the image of Yah created he him. Male and female created he them, and Yah blessed them, and said unto them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth. Replenish. Look, replenish the earth, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth. And now that's over that serpent too. You know what I'm saying? That's off. That's real. That's real. Look, you see them human eyes? That what that serpent want, a whole bunch of them walking around. You know what I'm saying? That's what he trying to do. You know, he trying to create them. And that's a half human, half animals, and half dog. And then they got women, a whole society breeding and trying to get the body in a position, man, to do this. And then they already mixing human, you know what I'm saying, genetics, animal genetics in the food and stuff, breaking everybody genetics down and stuff, to where one day they gonna be producing this kind, and that's what the serpent want. That's what the serpent wants. See, Almighty Yah didn't create that right there. He ain't create that right there. He ain't create that right there. But the serpent did. Look. Alright, let's go. See if I pull up another one of them old crazy images. Yeah, they everywhere too, boy. See, look. See, this what the serpent want right here. You know what I'm saying? The serpent. Alright. And Yah blessed them and said unto them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth. And Yah said, behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree in that which is the fruit of tree yielding seed, to you shall it be for meat, and to every beast of the earth, and to every fowl of the air, and to everything that creepeth upon the earth, wherein there is life. I have given every green herb for meat. And so you know, folks was eating vegetables at one time, and then something happened. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, Almighty Yah had this serpent created. You know what I'm saying? Because he is the creator of everything. Look. Now the serpent, look. Now the serpent who was more suitable than any beast of the field which the Elohim Yah had made. Look, Yah made him. And he said unto the woman, hath Yah said, ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden. See, that's being in opposition right there. That's being in opposition to Almighty Yah. And that's the first time right there. That's the first time. That's where we could trace opposition to Yah law from the serpent. And then we could trace the serpent over into the Amorite tribes, the giants. And then the Tanakh record how wicked they was and how we were supposed to destroy them. Well, we didn't destroy them. We didn't destroy them. And that how did they control society now? And like a serpent, mean they shed they skin and get a rebirth and so forth. Every time we Israelites fail, meant to destroy them. You see what I'm saying? Now look here, look. All right. In the Elohim, this is Genesis 2:15. In the Elohim, Yah took the man and put him in the garden of Eden to dress it and to keep it. So, man, it's righteousness now. And he gonna have Almighty Yah wisdom and laws to keep the garden right, the earth right. See, that's keeping the earth right and keeping it straight. You know what I'm saying? Doing everything right. You ain't overusing nothing, and you ain't destroying nothing. Look, and put him in the garden to dress it into into and to keep it. And the Elohim Yah commanded the man, saying, of every tree of the garden thou mayest eat freely, but of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil thou shalt not eat of it, for in the day that thou eatest thereof, thou shalt surely die. So he telling him, man, that if you mess with this certain, that intoxicating plant, man, that you gonna die. You're gonna die spiritually. Man, you can die physically. Man, it's all kind of stuff, man, probably, you know what I'm saying, gonna happen because of that. And then it's like being on drugs, how you just get destroyed. You know what I'm saying? And death be at the end and so forth. So, it's kind of like similar to that because he ate an intoxicating plant. It's what our mother and father, Adam and Eve, did, and the old serpent tricked them. And what better way to trick the peoples to not to follow Yah's law and will is to get them intoxicated. That's why come in our community, man, they got everything. Everything to keep you intoxicated is in the Israelite community. I'm talking about everything. Everything. All right. But the Elohim Yah commanded the man, saying, of every tree of the garden thou may eat freely, but of the tree of knowledge of good and evil thou shalt not eat of it, for in the day that thou eatest thereof shalt thou surely die. And the Elohim said, it is not good that the man should be alone. I will make him help in me. All right, so then, you know what I'm saying, our mama get created, you know what I'm saying, and then, uh, uh we know let me see, and out of the ground, the Elohim formed every beast of the field and every fowl of the air, and brought them unto Adam to see what he would call them. And whatsoever Adam called every living creature, that was their name thereof. And Adam gave names to all cattle, and to fowl of the air, and to every beast of the field. But for Adam there was, so now the serpent was more suitable than any beast of the field which the Elohim had made. And he said unto the woman, yeah, hath Yah said, ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden? See what Almighty Yah told Adam and stuff, and I'm sure Adam then told the woman and stuff. Look, and the woman said unto the serpent, we may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, Yah had said, ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. And the serpent said unto the woman, ye shall not surely die. But Yah do note that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be open, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. See, the serpent knew good and evil and stuff, but because he knew the difference and stuff, and then how the serpent was being evil and not being good by encouraging her to go against Almighty Yahweh, being in opposition to Almighty Yahweh. See, then in this way it can be traced to. See, we could trace the being in opposition to Almighty Yahweh, mean from biblical times all the way now. And it's the same people. It's the same people got the same rackets going on, and that how we Israelites are at fault because we chose to worship the serpent culture, which is the Egyptian culture. And Israelites do that mess right now today. Look, for y'all do know it that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be open, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. See, so how he know that they gonna be some gods knowing good and evil? And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, something shiny, something pretty. Women love something pretty or deceive you every time. In a tree to be desired to make one wise. She took of the fruit thereof and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat. And the eyes of them both were open, and they knew that they was naked. They was high and tripping. And they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves aprons. And they heard the voice of the Elohim walking in the garden in the cool of the day. And Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of Yah among the trees of the garden. They was high and tripping. They were paranoid, high and tripping. Now you see how listening to the serpent then got them messed up, and how he was in opposition to Almighty Yah by it even coming out his mouth, telling them to do that. You see what I'm saying? And that how that opposition to Almighty Yah ring throughout the whole man, ring throughout the whole Tanakh. You know what I'm saying? And how that we Israelites couldn't resist the serpent worship in the form of the Egyptian culture, because it provided a party, it provided food, shelter, and so forth, and that how we couldn't resist because of that. Like now, Israelites don't want to abandon this materialistic culture and then just worship Yah and don't worry about the material stuff, and then how we have our whole goal set towards material things. Yes, and the serpent, man, that's where his control at. You know, that's where his control at. You know. Yeah, boy. He in opposition to Almighty Yah, and that's his image. That's his image, and and he see everything. He know everything. All right. So we know that the opposition to Almighty Yah gonna come from the serpent, as shown in Genesis, off the flop, and that how Almighty Yah, you know what I'm saying, and then you can see how the serpent was kicked out the garden. You know what I'm saying? The serpent, look, therefore the Elohim sent him. All right. And the Elohim said, behold, the man has become as one of us to know good and evil. Now let's put forth his hand and take also of the tree of life and eat there. Therefore the Elohim Yah set him forth from the garden of Eden to till the ground from whence he was made. So he drove out the man, and he placed the cherubim in the flaming sword. So the serpent then got on down. He caused mischief and then problem and then got on down somewhere because his job is done. He then created opposition to Almighty Yah. You know what I'm saying? And that's what led to our, the fall, whereas we was in a perfect state, and then how we become in an imperfect state by listening to the serpent. You in the perfect state when you following Almighty Yah will and what he set forth, but how you in an imperfect state, and that the serpent have control over is when you're not following Almighty Yah's law. You know what I'm saying? And that's what the Tanakh, man, is based about. You know what I'm saying? How we Israelites chose the serpent culture over Almighty Yah culture, and then how the Tanakh is just a testament of what went wrong and how that it didn't work, and we see that it ain't working now, following the serpent in the way that they want us Israelites to be. And the reason that the serpent want us Israelites to be a certain way is that we don't come back into heritage and covenant, which will destroy the serpent's culture and basically extinguish his light out here on earth and so forth. And how that we Israelites supposed to have did that. But if you read the book of Judges, man, you'll see how we failed time and time again. So after getting the law to destroy the serpent culture, how we Israelites failed time and time and time again, and we in bondage right now today is because we didn't destroy the serpent culture in the past and kept messing with it by way of Egypt. The Egyptians followed the serpent culture. If you look on the Pharaoh heads, you're going to see some snakes on his head. And then I got plenty of videos showing how the Egyptians is tied into the serpent culture from Mesopotamia and so forth. And also, show that how that the Israelites, our ancestors, after getting the law, meaning that how we basically, we abandoned the law, for serpent worship, which causes destruction. And Prophet Moses tell you what would prolong your days on earth. This prolongs your days on earth. I mean, if you go to Genesis, Deuteronomy 4, let's see what that say. Deuteronomy 4, I almost turned right to it. Now therefore hearken, O Israel, unto the statutes and unto the judgment which I teach you for to do them, that ye may live and go in and possess the land which the Elohim Yah your fathers giveth you. See, but that you may live. So then if you ain't doing this judgment, then you gonna die. And then you see the death culture that we Israelites live in now. It's horrible. It's horrible. It was once upon a time that we Israelites didn't have homosexuality rampant in the community. That was something hid. If a person was that way, that was hid, and that wasn't out in the open. But how the serpent culture make that, where they could be out in the open and it's okay. Man, the serpent made being gay all right, in the eyes of the deceived Israelites. He even made homosexuality part of what they think is righteous. You see, the serpent's job is to change everything around. What Almighty Yah say is bad, the serpent has made it seem like it's good. Everything that you see in the Tanakh that the Israelites was told not to do, because this is the way of the Canaanites, where the serpent had turned around and made that good and encouraged you men to be that way. And that's what the serpent been doing the whole time, like he tricked our mama Eve. Told her to go mess with that plant, knowing that she wasn't supposed to mess with that plant. See, that's being in opposition to Almighty Yah's law, his word. Now therefore hearken, O Israel, unto the statutes and unto the judgment which I teach you for to do them, that ye may live and go in and possess the land which the Elohim your Yah, the Elohim Yah of your fathers giveth you, and ye shall not add unto the word which I command you, neither shall ye diminish aught from it, that ye may keep the commandments of the Elohim your Yah which I command you. Your eyes have seen what the Elohim did because of Baal Perot, for all the men that followed Baal Perot, the Elohim that Yah had destroyed them from among you. But ye that have cleaved unto the Elohim your Yah are alive, every one of you this day. And it's like now, if you ain't clinging up to the Almighty Yah or trying to worship Him in some kind of way, it's doomsday for you. It's curtains. It's curtains for you, man. I'm here to tell you, and it's the truth. Because if you ain't worshiping Almighty Yah, then you're going to be prone and open to a whole lot of the stuff that the serpent say is right, but it's really wrong. It's really wrong. Your eyes have seen. All right. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Elohim Yah command me, that ye should do so in the land whether ye go to possess it. And that land that we was going in to possess was dominated by serpent worshippers. Almighty Yah was finna destroy the serpent worshippers on earth by us. And we got a good start of it, but we was tricked in the end by the serpent worshippers from Egypt. You know what I'm saying? The serpent worshippers, that land that went all the way from Canaan to Mesopotamia,
You know what I'm saying? We was to destroy it. But on the back end, it was some serpent worshippers that we would eventually destroy them. If we did the covenant, the Egyptians couldn't come across the promised land, which would have been the death of the Egyptian culture. But we Israelites, failed to do that. And we was tricked by the serpent worshippers, the Egyptians, and then that's what caused out captivity. Israelites that's just joining the Israelite Brotherhood family. I'm gonna try to go over what caused us to go into captivity and how we broke covenant. I got plenty of videos explaining it, but I'm gonna try to do a recap to bring everybody up to par if I can. I'm kind of stressed for time. I got to get back to work. Look, all right, and behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Elohim YAH command me, that ye should do so in the land whether ye go to possess it, to keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom. Look, keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. Because they ain't following the serpent. See, you're going to be wise and understanding if you ain't doing what the serpent say do, because then you're going to be doing what Almighty Yah do. It's only two ways on this earth. It's Almighty Yah's way or the serpent way. It is no other way. It is no middle ground. It's either Yahweh or the serpent way. Look, keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. For what nation is there so great who hath Yah so nigh unto them as the Elohim Yah is in all things that we call upon him for? And what nation is there so great that has statutes and judgments so righteous as all this law which I set before you this day? So the Egyptians didn't have no perfect governance systems, and neither did Babylon, Assyria, or none of those ancient nations that was destroyed, because they was all influenced by the serpent. We was the direct descendants from Prophet Abraham, who has a traceable lineage all the way to Seth, and we was Yah worshippers. But you see, serpent, he opposes Yah and been doing it. And his descendants who he influenced, been keeping the opposition to Yah worship going on. And that's what they call democracy. Democracy, you could be as evil. You could be as evil and wicked as you want to. You could be as evil and wicked as you want to. You could be as evil as you want to, because you remember this was said. This was said right here. This was said. This was said. Now the serpent, who was more suitable than any beast of the field, you know what I'm saying? Alright, which the Elohim Yah had made. So, he gonna be in opposition to Almighty Yah, and that's where it come from. So you either following his law, you either following Almighty Yah law, or you gonna be following the serpent law and state. You know what I'm saying? There's no getting around it. There's no in between. There's no in between that. There's no in between that. You're gonna be following his law or the serpent law. There's no getting around it. And we see what the serpent, following the serpent, do. It destroys the whole earth. It destroys the whole earth. Alright? Let me finish reading this. That has statutes and judgments so righteous as all this law which I have set before thee this day. Only take heed to yourselves and
and keep thy soul diligently, lest thou forget the things which thine eyes have seen, and lest thou depart from thy heart all the days of thy life. Let me see. And lest thou depart from thy heart all the days of thy life, but teach thy sons and thy daughters and thy sons, especially the day that thou stoodest before the Elohim thy Yah in Horeb, when the Elohim said unto me, gather me the people together, and I will make them hear my words, that they may learn to fear me all the days that they live upon the earth, that they may teach their children. And ye come near and stood under the mountain, and the mountain burnt with fire into the midst of the heaven, and the darkness, clouds, and thick darkness. And the Elohim spake unto you out of the midst of the fire, and ye heard the voice of the words, but saw no similitude, only ye heard a voice. And ye declared unto you, and he declared unto you his covenant, which he commanded to perform, even 10 commandments. He wrote them upon 2 tablets of stone. And the Elohim Yah command me at that time to teach you statutes and judgments, that ye may do them in the land whether ye go to possess. Take ye therefore good heed unto yourselves, for ye saw no manner of similitude, nor the day on the day that the Elohim spoke to you in Horeb out of the midst of the fire, lest ye corrupt yourselves and make ye a graven image, the similitude of any figure. And then they did that with that Jesus image, that demigod image. Ain't nothing but the serpent, son. All right. Lest ye corrupt yourselves and make ye a graven image, the similitude of any figure, the likeness of male or female, the likeness of any beast that is on the earth, the likeness of any winged fowl that flieth in air, the likeness of anything that creepeth on the ground, the likeness of any fish that is in the waters beneath the earth. And lest thou lift up them eyes to heaven, and when thou seest the sun and the moon and the stars, even all the host of heaven, shouldst thou be driven to worship them. That astrology stuff. See, the serpent gonna be with all that. The serpent is with astrology, the horoscopes, all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Everything that Almighty Yah say don't do, the serpent say do. So whenever you read the Tanakh and Almighty Yah say don't do it, and then you turn around and see people doing just the opposite, you know that they are influenced by the serpent culture. That the serpent, man, he got power now because we Israelites abandoned the covenant and ran from the job of destroying the serpent. All right, let me see. Lest thou lift up thine eyes unto heaven, and when thou seest the sun and the moon and the stars, even all the hosts of heaven, shouldst thou be driven to worship them and serve them, which the Elohim thy Yah had divided unto all nations under the whole heaven. But the Elohim had taken you and brought you forth out of iron furnace, even of Egypt, to be unto him a people of inheritance, as ye are this day. There, furthermore, the Elohim was angry with me for your sake, and saw that I should not go over Jordan, and that I should not go into the good land which the Elohim that Yah giveth thee for an inheritance. But I must die in this land, and I must not go over Jordan, but ye shall go over and possess that good land. Take heed unto yourselves, lest ye forget the covenant of the Elohim your Yah, which he made with you, and make you a graven image or the likeness of anything which the Elohim that Yah had forbidden thee. And we got his laws. For the Elohim that Yah is a consuming fire, even a jealousy God, a jealous Yah. So then you can't be worshiping no God, Son, or none of that, because he jealous of anything. Man, you can't worship no gods, no fake gods. That'll get you caught up, as it got us caught up because the Egyptians tricked us into worshiping their gods and so forth. All right, and all right. Take heed unto yourselves, lest ye forget the covenant of the Elohim your Yah, which he made with you, and make you a graven image of the likeness of anything which the Elohim their Yah have forbidden thee. For the Elohim the Yah is consuming fire, even a jealous Yah. When thou shalt beget children and children's children, and ye shall have remained long in the land, and shall corrupt yourselves, and make a graven image of the likeness of anything, and shall do evil in the sight of the Elohim that Yah, to provoke him to anger, I call heaven and earth to witness against you this day, that ye shall soon utterly perish from off the land, whether ye go over Jordan to possess it. Ye shall not prolong your days upon it, but ye shall utterly be destroyed. And the Elohim shall scatter you among the nations. All right, that's what happened to us for following and worshiping the serpent culture, is when we went into Egypt. When we left Egypt and went into the promised land, that we never stopped doing the Egyptian religion. And then that got us kicked out in the book of Jeremiah, what's called the Babylonian Wars. What's called the Babylonian Wars around 588 BC. The book of Jeremiah is going to be the last recording history for the Israelite nation, the 99%, because it never was any 10 lost tribes. It never was any 10 lost tribes, and how all the Israelites ran into Africa to do the serpent worship. To do the serpent culture. What destroyed us? Just like Prophet Moses said, that would happen. And we was driven off the land by what's called Ashkenazi under the name Scythian. They made up the Chaldean army. And they chased us Israelites up off the promised land. Almighty Yah told them to. And that how the other group, so-called Jews, are the Sephardic Jews, the Sephardim, the Hardis. That they are Amorites, and they are infused with the serpent culture. And that's the democracy that's been taken around the world. It's the serpent culture, whereas you can do whatever you want to, and you can be as evil and wicked as you want to. And it's okay and looked upon positively in whatever society, you may reside in, a country or nation. And that how the serpent say it's okay for man to sleep with man and woman to sleep with woman, or women to sleep with animals and so forth. And we know why they doing that. They doing that specifically just for one goal, is to bring in hybrids. Hybrid humans and hybrid mixed animals is what the serpent do, because he do just the opposite of Almighty Yah create humans to look, this way. Then the serpent finna come back and have humans looking a whole nother way. And you get driven that way by following the serpent culture, by what they say is right. And you got to go to Almighty Yah word, to learn the differences of what's right and wrong, because the serpent got everybody thinking that being wicked is right, when the Tanakh outlined that being wicked is wrong, and it destroys the earth. And we see that the earth is being destroyed because of the wickedness, and that wickedness can be traced back to the serpent worshippers. We Israelites got a job. Our job is to expose the serpent worshippers, expose who the serpent worshippers are and where it come from, and then resist the serpent's agenda, which is to get us to do everything that is wicked, that is outlined in the Tanakh. That's the serpent job. That's his job, is to get you to do everything Almighty Yah say don't do, the serpent say do. So right now, as it stands, all this stuff that the Israelites is doing, they need to reevaluate everything and look in the Tanakh and see what's right and what's wrong. But as I was saying in the book of Jeremiah, we all ran into Africa, to do the Egyptian religion. You know what I'm saying? And then that messed us up. They got us enslaved, and then this was destroying the earth, is that the Israelites are out of heritage. We're out of heritage, and that's destroying the earth. Look, And the Elohim spake out of the midst. All right. Take ye heed, therefore. All right, and I read that to make nothing. Let me see. And lift up your eyes to heaven and to see the sun and the moon and the stars, even all the hosts of the heaven, and should be driven to worship them. And you're going to be destroyed. All right. But the Elohim had taken you and brought you forth out of the iron furnace, even out of Egypt, to be unto him a people of inheritance, as ye are this day. Furthermore, the Elohim was angry with. All right, so Prophet Moses couldn't go back. All right. And when thou begettest children and children's children, and ye shall have remained long in the land, and shall corrupt yourselves, and make graven image of the likeness of anything, and shall do evil in the sight of the Elohim, and to provoke him to anger, I have called heaven and earth to witness against you this day, that ye shall be utterly perished from off the land whereupon you go over Jordan to possess it, and ye shall not prolong your days upon it, but ye shall utterly be destroyed, and the Elohim shall scatter you among the nations, and ye shall be left few in numbers among the heathen. That's right. Now, the Hispanics are more numerous in our community than we are. Now, and it wasn't, you know what I'm saying, like that. All right. And the Elohim shall scatter you among the nations, and ye shall be left few in number among the heathen, where the Elohim shall lead you, and there ye shall serve gods, the works of man's hands, wood and stone, which neither see nor hear nor eat nor smell. The Christianity, the Jesus stuff, the Queen of Heaven, it's the highest horse and all that's, the Catholic Church, and they put that on the slaves, and our ancestors uh, uh was forced into that mess, and then how we right now today messed up from worshiping, the way that it was forced upon us. But if from thence that thou seek the Elohim thy Yah, thou shalt find him, and if thou seek him with all thy heart and with all thy soul, when thou art in tribulation, and all these things are come upon thee, even in the latter days, if thou turn to the Elohim thy Yah, and shalt be obedient unto his voice, for the Elohim thy Yah is a merciful Yah. He will not forsake thee, neither destroy thee, nor forget the covenant of thy fathers, which he swore unto them. So his promises to restore us and get us back in our land, all that's still on track. For ask now of the days that are past, which were before thee, since the day that the Elohim created men upon the earth, and ask from the one side of heaven, men unto the other, where there had been any such thing as this great thing, or had been heard like it. Did ever people hear the voice of Yah speaking out of the midst of the fire, as thou hast heard and lived? Or that Yah assessed to go and take him a nation from the midst of another nation, by temptation, by signs, and by wonders, and by war, and by a mighty hand, and by a stretched out arm, and by great terrors, according to all that the Elohim your Yah did for you in Egypt before your eyes? Unto thee it was showed that thou mayest know that the Elohim is Yah, and there is none else beside him. Out of the heaven he made thee, out of heaven he made thee to hear his voice, that he might instruct thee from men upon the earth. He showed thee his great fire, and thou heardest his words out of the midst of the fire. And because he loved thee, thy fathers, therefore he chose their seed after them, and brought thee out in his sight with his mighty power out of Egypt, to drive out nations from before thee, greater and mightier than thou art, to bring thee in, to give thee their land for an inheritance, as it is this day. Know therefore this day, and consider it in thine heart, that the Elohim he is Yah in heaven above, and upon the earth there is none else. So ain't no other gods. Thou shalt keep therefore his statutes and his commandments, which I command thee this day, that it may go well with thee and with thy children after thee, and that thou mayest prolong thy days upon the earth, which the Elohim there Yah giveth thee forever. See, upon the earth.
we in captivity now because we chose to follow the serpent culture, which is destruction. The serpent culture ain't nothing but the Canaanite culture that we didn't destroy. The Canaanite culture that we didn't destroy is the serpent culture. In the serpent culture, it's what's destroying the earth. And we Israelites allowed that to happen. But guess how we Israelites, man, can get back, man, to look control is to resist the serpent culture. You know what I'm saying? And this is some of the things, man, that was outlined. That this is not all of it, but if you read the Tanakh, you're going to know the things that it say to do and not to do. Look, all right. And the Elohim spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying to them, And the Elohim your Yah, after the doings of the land of Egypt, wherein ye dwell, shall ye not do. And after the doing of the land of Canaan, whether I bring ye, shall ye not do, neither shall ye walk in their ordinance. Ye shall do my judgments and keep my ordinance to walk therein. I am the Elohim your Yah. Ye shall therefore keep my statutes and my judgments, which if a man do, he shall live in them. See, he keeps stressing that if you follow Almighty's Yah's law or his customs, that you can live in it. But we see that not doing that, I mean, there's destruction all around us, man. Everything being destroyed, the trees being destroyed. Everybody see that mold on them trees. The whole everything finna go. The trees being destroyed, the animals being extinct. Man, it's all kind of water. You can't even drink the water. The food is poison. Everything is upside down. It's because we Israelites fell out the covenant, and then the serpent was able to get in the position to say what was wicked is really righteous. What's wicked is righteous. You know what I'm saying? The what's righteous is wicked. It's how the serpent, he in that position now because we broke the covenant and let him get in that position. So now the earth is going down through there. Ye shall therefore keep my statutes and my judgments, which if a man do, he shall live in them. I am the Elohim. None of you shall approach to any that is near of kin to him. And we know that's all the Egyptians did, to uncover their nakedness. I am the Elohim. The nakedness of thy father, the nakedness of thy mother, thou shalt not uncover. She is thy mother. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness, her nakedness. The nakedness of thy father's wife shalt thou not uncover. It is thy father's nakedness. The nakedness of thy sister, the daughter of thy father, or the daughter of thy mother, whether she is born at home or born abroad, even their nakedness thou shalt not uncover. The nakedness of thy son's daughter, or the daughters thy daughters, even their nakedness thou shalt not uncover. For there is then kin, them own nakedness. The nakedness of thy father's wife's daughter, begotten of thy father, she is thy sister. Thou shalt not uncover her nakedness. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy father's sister. She is thy father's near kin. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy mother's sister, for she is thy mother's near kinswoman. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy father's brother. That thou shalt not approach to his wife. She is then aunt. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy sister-in-law. She is thy son's wife. Thou shalt not uncover her nakedness. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy brother's wife. It is thy brother's nakedness. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of a woman and her daughter. See, some Israelites think that's cool, man. I knocked the mama off and the daughter. You know what I'm saying? I done heard the fruit Israelites brag about that wickedness. They ain't nothing but the serpent culture. You know what I'm saying? Being influenced by the serpent. Everything Almighty time y'all tell you not to do, the serpent gonna go tell you to do it. Alright. Uncover her name. Neither shalt thou take a wife to her sister to vex her, to uncover her nakedness besides the other in her lifetime. Also thou shalt not approach unto a woman to uncover her nakedness as long as she is put apart for her uncleanness. Moreover, thou shalt not lie carnally with thy neighbor's wife to defile thyself with her. And thou shalt not let any of these
of thy seed pass through the fire, the abortion, you know what I'm saying? Israelites bid that the serpent want all the kids killed. He want them all burnt up. Anybody that believe in Almighty Yah, the serpent want them burnt up. And the Israelites been forced to do that because of this poverty position we've been put in from the slavery days. They just been burning their kids up left and right. Worried about feeding them a little sandwich or something, you know. Worried about some food, you know what I'm saying? And they're ready to burn the kids up. Look, moreover, thou shalt not lie carnally with thy neighbor's wife to defile thyself. Thou shalt not let any of thy seed pass through the fire to molish, neither shalt thou profane the name of the Elohim. Thou shalt not lie with mankind as with a woman can. It is an abomination. Neither shalt thou lie with any beast. To feel I show y'all that that's the whole purpose of the bestiality thing, is to bring in hybrids. Man, they've been doing it for a long time, and they've been getting the women's body ready to produce, and they at that stage now. They already doing it. You know what I'm saying? And them folks that you see caught up in that stuff, you'll never see them walking around in society and how that they are privileged in islands, little secret islands that's uncharted and stuff, but they bringing in the hybrids and so forth. All right, defile not yourselves in any of these things, for in all these the nations are defiled, which I cast out before you. That's gonna be the serpent, the serpent, because you remember the serpent is the only one here, man, besides Almighty Yah will. So if Almighty Yah say be a certain way and do a certain thing, and then people come and do just the opposite, then they gonna be learned that opposition from the serpent. That's where it come from. Opposition to Yah, opposition to goodness come from the serpent. And the land is defiled, therefore I do visit the iniquity thereof upon it, and the land itself vomit out her inhabitants. That's what happened to us when we was driven out the land. Ye shall therefore keep my statutes and my judgments, and shall not commit any of these abominations, neither any of your own nation, neither any stranger that sojourneth among you. For all these abominations have the men of the land done, which were before you, and the land is defiled, that the land spew not you out also when ye defile it, as it spewed out the nations that were before you, because the nations before did the serpent culture. That's all they did with the serpent culture. And the serpent, man, he promoting this. You know what I'm saying? Man, he promoting this type stuff. That's what the serpent do. Because everything that is against Almighty Yah, and it come from the serpent. Alright. For all these abominations have the men of the land done, which were before you, and the land is defiled, that the land spew you not out. Also, when ye defile it, as it spewed out the nations that were before. And in the book of Jeremiah, we were spewed out the land. If you were read the book of Jeremiah, man, I think it may be chapter 5, where he compared us to Sodom and Gomorrah. That if you can't find nobody righteous in the city and so forth. Let me see, man. I think I remember that kind of distinctly, but let me see. Because I ain't just been hanging out in the book of Jeremiah lately. I stay in the book of Jeremiah. I live and eat in the book of Jeremiah. Yeah. Here it is. Look, run you to and fro through the streets of Jerusalem, and see now, and note and seek in the broad places thereof, if ye find a man, if there be any that execute judgment, that seeketh the truth, and I will pardon it. See, man, it's the same as Sodom and Gomorrah. It's the same sins as Sodom and Gomorrah. The same sins. Let's see what Ezekiel 22 got. So if you ain't following Almighty Yah or trying to do his will, then you're going to be doing the serpent will. You're going to be doing the serpent will. Let me see. All right. 22:30. 22:30. Let's see what it say. All right. And I sought for a man among them that should make up the hedge and stand in the gap before me for the land, that I should not destroy it, but I found none. So, man, we was on the same level as Sodom and Gomorrah with the wickedness. And then we was destroyed and driven out the land. And we were supposed to destroy the wickedness that caused people from being destroyed. All right, Israelites, this is a message from the Israelite Brotherhood. The opposition to Yah will come from the serpent. The serpent, if somebody say, hey, it's okay. Man, that's a serpent talking. If somebody say, hey, let's rob, steal, and kill, that's that serpent. We all once upon a time then followed, the serpent. But when you get woke and you realize that the serpent is here to destroy the earth, and that Almighty Yah gave us the job to preserve the earth, then you kind of want to not just be doing what the serpent wants you to do. And the serpent is everything that is in opposition to Tanakh laws, what Almighty Yah say is right and wrong. That's like today, man, that they say that it's cool for a man to get married to a man and a woman to get married to a woman. But we know that Almighty Yah was against that. So where did that stuff come from? It come from the serpent. It come from the serpent. All right, Israelites, this is a message from the Israelite Brotherhood. I'm going to put out a little more history and create a little more time. I just been, man, with this little food truck. It's been awful trying to, keep it going and stuff. All right, shalom, Hebrews. Oh, also, when the headquarters come together, then I'm going to bring us all together and we're going to all start kicking it before long. You know what I'm saying? I pray that Almighty Yah make this come to pass before long. And this is a message from the Israelite Brotherhood. And shalom, Hebrews. I pray everybody is doing well.